Yo, peace, everyone. Peace. Keep low, family. Peace, keep low, family. LASHEIM the God. If you not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel. Yo, today I got a good video for y'all. Today, I'm going to drop knowledge that's going to help you elevate your life. Remember, you can learn a lot. All you got to do is listen. You feel me, dig me? But today, I want to do this video a little bit different. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to critique a video that was already made. Shout out to Aperture. But now check it out. Look, this video is going to be about the butterfly effect, and it's going to be about the chaos theory. So let's get into this video.
In 1952, an author named Ray Bradbury published a short story called A Sound of Thunder. In it, a hunter named Eccles pays $10,000 to travel with Time Safari, a time machine company that takes hunters back to the time of dinosaurs and allows them to hunt the T-Rex. The company guarantees nothing, neither your safety nor your return, and there are strict instructions and expectations for how the hunters should behave once they travel back in time. When they travel 60 million years back in time, they notice the path that has been laid by the company. It floats 6 inches above the earth and is the only path that the hunters should travel upon. They cannot touch anything during their stay in the past, and they are only to shoot when told to. Interrupting any of the natural processes in the past could have irreparable repercussions for the future. Step on a mouse, and you leave your print, like the Grand Canyon, across eternity. They're very careful with leaving the past just as it was supposed to unfold. The T-Rex that they were supposed to kill was going to be crushed by a tree only seconds later. It was going to die anyway. Eccles, however, is terrified and runs back to the time machine through the jungle and waits for the others. But once the rest of the crew returns, they notice the mud on Eccles' boots. Against their better judgment, they allow him to return with the crew back to present day. When they exit the time machine, the crew checks in with the man behind the desk to see if everything is okay, and the man tells them it is. The man, however, is acting a bit different from before they left. There's a strange smell in the air. It's faint, but it's there. The sign on the wall is different. The words were spelled differently. Eccles sits down and checks every inch of his body for things he could have ruined. And on his boot, caked in the mud, he finds a butterfly. Beautiful and dead. The death of a single butterfly has somehow resulted in the future being changed. He cries out in disbelief, begging to return to the past and somehow undo what he's done. He sits down with his eyes closed and senses a crew member enter the room. The crew member breathes loudly and takes the safety off his rifle. Eccles opens his eyes, but suddenly, all he hears is a sound of thunder. It used to be thought that events that changed the world were things like big bombs, huge earthquakes, or other large-scale events. But it has now been realized that this is a very old-fashioned view held by people totally out of touch with modern thought. The things that changed the world are the tiny things. A butterfly flapped its wings in the Amazon, and subsequently a storm ravages half of Europe. Paraphrased a little bit is a quote from a novel named Good Omens. What it's talking about is the butterfly effect. Sensitive dependence on initial conditions, more commonly known as the butterfly effect, is the idea that a small change in any situation could have huge implications later on down the road. The idea was coined by Edward Lorenz in the 1950s. Lorenz was a meteorologist who was searching for a means of predicting the weather. He was conducting experiments with various numbers to try and model a weather prediction. He did a previous experiment with an initial condition of 0.506127, 6 significant digits. A little bit overkill, he thought, so this time his initial condition was only 0.506. 3 significant digits should be fine. So he left the room to get a cup of coffee and came back to something drastically different from what he had previously. At first, things seemed normal and they seemed to follow the first experiment one-to-one. But after a while, they started to diverge and looked like completely different models. A 0.03% difference in values had enormous long-term implications. It may seem insignificant, it's just a model, right? Well, Lorenz had actually just opened the door to a new way of thinking and seeing the world around us. Chaos theory is the branch of mathematics that focuses on exactly this kind of thinking, but its name is kind of deceiving. The butterfly effect doesn't represent chaos, but rather the effects of changing the slightest conditions and then observing the results. Think of this. It is easier to predict the orbital period of a planet in another star system 10 million years from now than it is for us to predict our own weather here on Earth just a month from today. Because in order for us to predict the weather long term, we would have to know the exact position and momentum of every molecule of air on the planet and how they interact with each other. For planetary orbits, it's just a lot easier. There's a lot less variables. Any university physics student could probably calculate it. As for the weather, a butterfly flapping its wings creates a minuscule and almost unnoticeable change in atmospheric pressure. But these changes compound over and over and over as time progresses, until, as widely known, the butterfly's wings cause a tornado in Texas. This inevitable growth of errors is called deterministic chaos, chaos that can be determined, measured. However, the butterfly itself cannot cause a tornado. The butterfly represents an unknowable quantity. We can never reverse engineer an event to find out what exactly tipped the system. There's just too many factors that could have gone into it. No choice you've ever made has been an isolated event. It's like a domino effect that keeps compounding over time. The world and society is like a network, and when a certain part of that network fails, it affects everything else. Chaos theory isn't random, even though it seems like it. To prove it, let's play chaos game. Take a piece of paper and make 3 points like such. We'll label them A, B, and C. Now, choose a random point in the middle of those 3 points. We'll just put it right here. Now, all you have to do is make a point halfway between your starting point and point A. From this point, make a point halfway between here and point B. Repeat the process for point C and continue this pattern, rotating between points A, B, and C. If you do this for long enough, you'll see something interesting start to happen. As more and more generations of these points are drawn, an image starts to emerge. From seemingly random points being drawn, from chaos, from disorder, this complex yet orderly figure shows its face. From drawing a few points and following certain rules, chaos can form order. It's a fractal. They're infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across any scale. This shows that, with enough time, random actions can have serious long-term effects. The butterfly effect isn't exactly how you'd expect science to be. Physics, math, and many other scientific fields are based on predictability. You know, predicting the orbit of planets in order to send satellites and probes there, or predicting the odds of an asteroid hitting the Earth. The butterfly effect is the complete opposite. It's a model that exposes the flaws in other models. It says that without a perfect knowledge of initial conditions, any prediction is basically useless. But although the butterfly effect exposes flaws in other models, it also brings to light the impact that everything, including each of us, has. Jonas Salk is credited for having found the first vaccines for polio. Had he not discovered that at the time he did, the entire population of the planet today would be vastly different. Some people wouldn't have been born. Entire family lines may have been cut off due to the lack of a vaccine. Perhaps some of the largest companies today would not have been created if it weren't for this specific event happening at this specific time. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, a Russian nuclear-armed submarine was stationed off the coast of Cuba. American ships detected the submarine and began using depth charges to signal that the submarine should surface. The crew on board, though, took these depth charges to be bombs. The captain of the ship believed that war had broke out between the United States and the Soviet Union and ordered a nuclear torpedo to be sent immediately. Everyone agreed, except for one officer, Vasily Arkhipov. Without a unanimous vote, no action could be taken, and thus World War III was prevented. This one man's decision is the reason that the United States and Russia today aren't nuclear wastelands. The butterfly effect affects everything. You really have control of your life, like everything. No, but you and I have huge effects on the world as well. The butterfly effect is not to get leverage. It's not saying that every small thing always has a big impact. If that were true, then in a way you could manipulate it. Think of it like Jenga. You take away a certain block and things can be just fine. But another block, that one special block, if removed, causes everything else to fall apart. The reality is you have no idea what thing, or what block, will change your future. So everything has a say in it. For example, you watching this video will take up about 10 minutes of your day, whether it's for a good reason or not. Could me watching a movie, or listening to a song, getting a video idea from it, researching it, writing it, editing it, and uploading it to where you see it on your YouTube feed at a specific time prevent something bad from happening to you? Maybe you watching this video prevented you from going to the store 10 minutes early, where if you had left 10 minutes ago, a car that runs a red light would smash into you in an intersection, killing you. It's a scary thought, but it's a possibility. Someone recently messaged me and said that they had saw someone watching one of my videos in their classroom right next to them. They started to talk, become friends, and now they're dating. If YouTube wasn't a platform, if I hadn't had that specific video idea, that wouldn't have happened, and maybe those two people would have never met. But it goes much further than that. Everything has led you and I to this very moment. Literally everything. Because the universe exists, because the universe is expanding, and because the temperature of the universe was just right to the point that stellar nurseries can form stars, without those stars, we wouldn't have supernovas. Without supernovas, we wouldn't have iron. Without iron, we couldn't exist.
Peace again, Keep Low family. Yo, big salute to everybody who made it to the end of this video. But yo, check it out. I want to discuss something with y'all about the butterfly theory and the butterfly effect and the chaos theory. Check it right. You see, according to the video that I just played for y'all, the dude Echo was a hunter, right? And he went and he went in a time machine with this company, and he wanted to, feel to be like a hunter who just hunted down Tyrannosaurus Rex or whatever kind of dinosaur he was gonna kill, right? But the dinosaur was gonna be killed anyway by a tree that was gonna fall on it 2 seconds before he was assigned to kill it, right? But then he punked out at the end. He ran back to the time machine for whatever reason. He stepped in some mud because they had a path, but he went against the path, stepped in some mud. And when they went back into the time machine, the people took him back, against their will or whatever. And when they went back there, he looked at mud on his shoes and then on his boot, and then he was like, oh, a dead butterfly. So he altered everything in existence. So the reason why I'm saying this to y'all is because of the butterfly effect and the chaos theory, right? Because to all of y'all who's watching my video right now, and I want y'all to take heed to this, because a lot of people think what's meant to be will happen. If it wasn't meant to be, then it won't happen. But we control things that's happened, because if you look at the butterfly effect, by him killing the butterfly, going back into time, he altered everything. Now, let me just say this to y'all. Once again, salute to everybody who stayed to the end of this video, because y'all going to benefit from this. Look, just think about this. If I didn't make this if I didn't make this video at this specific time, if I didn't research the butterfly effect and the chaos theory and provide this video to y'all on YouTube, and y'all didn't watch this video at this specific time, like the guy said in the video, you might have went to the store an hour earlier before watching this video, and you might have been hit by a car and fatally killed. You feel me? So you taking time out to click on to the Keep Low channel and click onto this video may have saved your life. And me making this video may have saved my life. And that's just some of the causes of the butterfly effect and the chaos theory. But what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to get in the comments and tell me what y'all think about it. Tell me if you think I'm inaccurate. Tell me if you think what's meant to be will happen. If it wasn't supposed to happen, then it wouldn't happen. Or tell me if you believe us as human beings, or God in the spiritual essence of the physical form, control things from happening. Once again, the question is, tell me if you think things are predicted that they're going to happen or meant to happen and that's just the way it goes, or do you think we have control over what happens? Y'all get in the comments. Y'all tell me that. Y'all hit the thumbs up on this video. Yo, salute to all my subscribers. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. It's called Keep Low. I am LASHEIM the God. If you don't know me, I do videos on street legends. I drop knowledge that'll help you elevate your life. And I also drop knowledge for the God, for the earth, and for the babies. Yo, tap into the channel and go to www.keeplowproductions. Like the page. Cop you some Keep Low shirts. All sizes and colors. Yo, peace. Farewell to the next time we build. And like I always tell ya, stay focused.